Hey everybody, long time no see. Welcome back to Next Play Records. I'm Andy, and I have a vinyl finds, a new editions, a heavy rotations video, whatever you want to call it. This is a ton of records that I've gotten over the last month or even longer that I haven't been able to get on and do your typical VC show-off video. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen a lot of these as I take pictures when I'm starting to spin a record and post it every once in a while. So now you get to hear me talk about it. I've been enjoying a lot of the videos that have been going around over the last month or so. I've just been too busy to sit down and set up the camera and get the records out and take the break to do it. So hope you enjoy today. All right, I'm gonna start with my Blue Note records that I've added to the collection. First one will be the special Tone Poet that was released this month. McCoy Tyner's Expansions. This is 1968 album. It's a post-bop type feel. He's starting to really find his sound on the piano, and it's really special. But some of the things I love most about this is Ron Carter playing the cello. It sounds so cool on a few of these songs. You also have Wayne Shorter on the saxophone. He's playing that free, unbridled saxophone that you start hearing him progress to in the 60s. So just an awesome music, awesome session, but more importantly, just pressed at RTI, just mastered perfectly. It's one of the best sounding jazz records in my collection. So the new release of McCoy Tyner's Expansions is one to get if you love jazz music. So that's the first one. As y'all know, it comes with the great poly sleeves and that awesome Blue Note label. This one obviously is not a gatefold. They didn't have session photos from this, but I mean, I just love the nice thick cardboard, the glossy finish, just great product. The next one I have is the Tone Poet that I was looking forward to as much as any when they were announced, and that is Sonny Clark, My Conception. Again, this is classic, top-notch hard bop. I mean, one of the best lineups you could possibly ever come up with is on this. Sonny Clark, Hank Mobley, Donald Byrd, Paul Chambers, Art Blakey. I mean, it's some of the best at what they do. It's a straight all-star lineup for Blue Note. Sonny Clark's My Conception gives everybody plenty of time to shine too, so it's not like overcrowded with just piano solos and things like that. I mean, it's hard bop. Every song, pretty much every song gives them the chance to showcase their skills. But just the melodies, the songwriting on these, I love it. The inner gatefold photos are classic. There's Sonny. I love the look here, the seriousness, the hairdo. The guy you have here, you've got Hank Mobley and Donald Byrd, two of my favorite jazz artists. And then down at the bottom, you got Blakey and Paul Chambers, mainstays in a lot of the Blue Note sessions that stand out to us right there, locking down that rhythm. So again, one of my most anticipated Tone Poets that have been announced is this one, and I was so happy to grab it. Sonny Clark, My Conception. I believe this was in 1959 originally. Session, yeah, 1959, but it wasn't released until 1979. I believe a Japanese was the first to put it out. I could be wrong about that. I know they did, but there might have been one of those late 70s releases. But this is classic. Get it. The next one that I've gotten, this was an online find, and this was a record I've been looking for a good price, and it is Lee Morgan, The Gigolo. The music on here is cool. It's got a different feel to it from standard hard bop, but great lineup, so you can't pass up on it if you find a deal. This is Lee Morgan with Wayne Shorter, Harold Mabern Jr. on the piano, Bob Crenshaw on the bass, and Billy Higgins on the drums. The title track, very cool. Lots of I think he plays speedball on the live session from the Lighthouse that came out. So a lot of those are previously unreleased songs from Lee Morgan, but he plays speedball, he plays Sidewinder on that live box set that came out. So that was from Gigolo. written by Lee Morgan. Yes I Can, No You Can't, written by Lee Morgan's on here. Trapped, written by Lee Morgan's on here. The Gigolo, written by Lee Morgan. And then he covers Coots and Gillespie's You Go to My Head. So this is a great one. This is the 1980s DMM pressing, which I've always highly touted those as the best budget albums you can get. I mean, most of the time I find them for under $20. If it's online, you know, you have to pay the shipping for it, but well worth it for under $20, and they sound really good. So there's your label from that DMM. So I was happy to add another Lee Morgan album to my collection in the way of the Gigolo. Anytime you have Wayne Shorter and Lee Morgan together, you know you're going to have special music. All right, the next two Blue Notes came out together not too long ago. Classic series, Midnight Blue and Idle Moments. I grabbed them both. I had both of these in the 75th, so right when I started collecting vinyl a little over 2 years ago, and then I shortly after that got into jazz. I just grabbed what I could that was affordable. So I had both of these on. Actually, one of them was a gift. My sister-in-law gave me Midnight Blue for Christmas. It's 75th anniversary, and then I bought Idle Moments 75th anniversary just because, I mean, they're top-notch titles in Blue Notes history. So I wanted to have them until I found an older, good condition repress or original, which y'all know how much those can go for. So when these were announced, it was a no-brainer that I was going to stop looking for now for those high-dollar originals or early represses and get these, because, you know, straight from the analog tapes, you know, mastered by Kevin Gray, it's tough to beat. There have been, from what I've heard, some quality control issues with no-fill stitching, but both of mine, well, Midnight Blue was great. To be honest with you, I had just spun Idle Moments 75th anniversary a couple of weeks before I received this one, so I haven't spun my Idle Moments yet. I'm gonna do that today, but it looks great. I'm sure it is possible to have some defects here and there, but for the most part, this series has been jam up, great quality. So Idle Moments is, boom, I've got a nice quality from Analog Source. I mean, if I stumble across something in great condition for a good price that's closer to an original, I'll probably get it. But for now, this is perfect for my collection. Next, we'll continue with the jazz finds. This is one that just delivered a couple days ago. And if you like jazz, if you like novelty, this was it, rolled all in one. It's Charlie Brown. A Boy Named Charlie Brown, Vince Guaraldi Trio Craft recordings from the analog tapes, mastered by Kevin Gray, $22. So Craft is doing one, I think black vinyl and brown vinyl limited 500. I didn't want to wait on that one or overpay, so I got this one from Target, which is exclusive Target green grass vinyl, which to me, green grass is what I love about baseball. Even though I was a pitcher, I was on the dirt mound a lot, so the brown vinyl would have been cool too. But this one was done on green. And I also have the Charlie Brown Christmas release that was on green vinyl. So now I have matching Charlie Brown, Vince Guaraldi music on green vinyl. And I'll tell you what, this sounds awesome. There is one little spot on the last song on side one that has some sound to it, but it's the drummer on that snare. And when they do it too long, sometimes that can get on my nerves. And so when it first started in the song, it was going to the beat, and I'm like, okay, maybe that's him doing it on purpose. Maybe it's a little bit of a defect, but I went back and listened to the Amazon stream of it, and it's there. I mean, it's just part of his style on that song, to on that snare and, you know, hit the rim with it. So it sounds cool. He did a little bit too long where it was starting to annoy me, but it's a good song. But there's so many other great songs on there. So I was happy to get that. Sorry, I didn't finish showing this. A Boy Named Charlie Brown. A cool thing about this release is it is a baseball card edition. Okay, baseball card edition from Kraft, and you have these little baseball cards inside there. You can tear them up, and they're the size of baseball cards. But I'm leaving them attached. So all the main characters. It talks about their how they played the game. Poor Charlie Brown failed at everything. I was also yesterday watching a documentary about the creator of Charlie Brown, and the way he intertwined his life into these characters is amazing. The amount of things he went through in life that were tough, but also, he was a shy kid, and he found ways to without, he was in a situation where you could see some depression, but he found this outlet of Charlie Brown and writing these comic strips, and learned more about himself and started to accept his failures as not necessarily his identity. He was him. So he started to accept himself as he was. So if you can find that, it was on Apple TV, but if you can find that and you like Charlie Brown and want to know more about how it was created in a deeper level, try to find that. Okay, I'm going to keep going with some jazz that is not Blue Note, following that Vince Guaraldi release, and this is Egyptian Strut. I found this one for a good bit less than it was a median value on Discogs, so I grabbed it. To be honest though, and if you saw my Instagram post, I don't love it. So it's a good chance. Maybe I'll keep it. There's a couple of songs I do love, but as a whole, I don't really love it. It's a 2 LP. This was a Record Store Day release. 2 LP. Jazz, Egyptian, Indian type sound to it. It's pretty cool. It has a lot of cool stuff with it, and there's a good chance I might let my brother sell it in his store, or I might list it on eBay or something. But I may keep it. Because it is a pretty rare original. So you do have a nice quality reissue here of a record that's hard to find. But I just don't know how much I'll pull it out of the collection back there and spin it. So I got it for under $30. I think it's values in the mid 30s to closer to 40. So we'll see. I don't love it though. Give it a try. I'd stream it before you buy it. I did not do that. I don't know. I actually think it's hard. It's rare. It's hard to find the music. So maybe that was the issue. I didn't have a chance to really review it before I put off the money to buy it. So, and the same thing I bought with that online purchase is one that I love, absolutely love, Black Jazz release of Calvin Keys, Shawnee, and this is guitar, jazz, and it's so good that I've started looking for some other stuff from him. These reissues from Black Jazz are great quality, and it gives you another branch of jazz away from that hard bop and modal style that everybody loves. So look this one up, and it's also led me to look into some more Black Jazz releases that are out there too for this reissue series. But very good. Calvin Keys, awesome guitar player. Very, very melodic note playing, kind of like a Kenny Burrell, but a little more harsh setup and song construction. So I enjoyed it. Next one I found, and I found this one for a great deal. This is an OG 6i Columbia mono release of Donald, we call him Don Bird back then, Donald Byrd and Gigi Grice, the Jazz Lab. This is just straight good bop, hard bop, and I was happy to add an old 6i to my collection. This is 1957, I believe. Yeah, nice old vinyl record with great jazz music and a all-star in Donald Byrd, and also another great musician in Gigi Grice. I was happy to, sorry, I'm having trouble getting this back into the, we'll set it to the side. There it is. Donald Byrd, Gigi Grice, Jazz Lab, 6i. The next one I got also online with that one was No, it wasn't with that one. But anyway, this is Johnny Griffin live in Tokyo. I was pleasantly surprised by this record. The sound of it is awesome. The drums just pop out of the speakers. His saxophone playing pops out of the speakers. This is on Inner City label. This is a 1979 live session in Tokyo where Johnny Griffin is the star of the show. And let's see his lineup for that. He plays with Horace Parlan on the piano, which was another big-time Blue Note star back in the 60s. And then Mads Vending on the bass and Art Taylor on the drums. So when I saw Johnny Griffin live in Tokyo with Horace Parlan and Art Taylor, I jumped on it. Great deal on this. I will play this one a whole lot because it is just fun music, but it has a few ballads too that really get you in your feels. So great record right here, 1979, Johnny Griffin live in Tokyo with a great lineup. The next one I got, these next two that I got were finds at an antique store, and I've been going to this antique store here and there over the last year, and not a lot of jazz. I found some other good stuff, but not a lot of jazz. I found this reissue of John Coltrane. This one's titled Train's Reign. I think the original was Steppin' Up, John Coltrane from the 50s. This session was recorded in 1958. He's got John Coltrane, Red Garland, Paul Chambers, and Art Taylor. Awesome. This music is unbelievable. I was happy to find this one, and it's a John Coltrane record that you don't hear a lot. It's a session you don't hear much about. And this reissue from 69, I believe, on the Green Prestige label is great quality. It sounds great. Very, very well done on that reissue. I don't know details about this mastering and everything for that day and age for the reissues and Prestige, but I love that record and happy to add more John Coltrane anytime I can, which is why I also picked up at the antique store this Blue Note reissue series, also from the late 70s. It's Paul Chambers and John Coltrane High Step, and this is a combination of multiple sessions where they were together, and unreleased session, I believe, called High Step. And then also on here is the full song list from Whims of Chambers, where John Coltrane played with Paul Chambers. And I have that Analog Productions version of that, but I didn't have any of these other songs other than the 4 from that record that are on this song list. So anytime you can put together, again, Paul Chambers and John Coltrane, you got to grab it. This one also is it was a great deal at the antique store compared to the value that you will find on it. But let's read some lineups here. On side 1 and side 2, songs 1 and 2, you got Paul Chambers, John Coltrane, Kenny Drew, and Philly Joe Jones, recorded in 1956. On side 2, cut 3 and 4, and side 3, cut 1 and 2, Paul Chambers, John Coltrane, Donald Byrd, Kenny Burrell, Horace Silver, Philly Joe Jones. What a lineup. That's the one that's from Whims of Chambers. On side 3, cut 3, and all of side 4, you got Paul Chambers, Curtis Fuller, John Coltrane, Pepper Adams, Ronald Alexander on the piano, and Philly Joe Jones on the drums. That was recorded in 1955, called Train Strain. Another session I've never heard of. So I got Train's Reign right there. And then apparently Train's Strain is part of this release. So a lot of good music there from John Coltrane that I was able to find at that antique store. And, you know, these are pretty good quality as well, just if you ever stumble across them. All right. The last jazz one I would like to show, and I might cut this video off because it's getting long, and I'll do the rest of non-jazz in a separate video later today or tomorrow. So the last one is my most exciting find, and this was an overseas online purchase that I put a low offer on that they accepted. So, and this is Watkins at large. What a session on transition. This is a Japanese pressing of it. Tremendous music. One of my favorite sleeper albums in my jazz collection. This is look at this lineup. Doug Watkins on the piano, Hank Mobley, Donald Byrd, Kenny Burrell, Duke Jordan, and Art Taylor. I mean, this is a killer record, okay? Let's see what we got here. We have the Japanese inner sleeve. I believe this is a 1978 reissue, which a lot of the King, this is a King pressing. A lot of those King record reissues were in 78, the best quality ones. And this is on the transition label here. Very cool, dark, black and gold label. I just love it. If you've never reviewed this record, Doug Watkins, I'm telling you, it's one of the best jazz records in my collection, and it is a sleeper. But you can probably guess, if you're a big jazz fan, that it would be great with that lineup. Again, Doug Watkins, Hank Mobley, Donald Byrd, Kenny Burrell, Duke Jordan, Art Taylor. What a great late 50s session. And I found it for an awesome deal. Pressed in great quality from King Records in Japan. There you go. Watkins at large. That's my big jazz find over the last month or so. So I'll stop the video right there. I do have another stack of non-jazz and some more back there that I can show in another video. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. Keep pumping out good videos. It's always good to see y'all's face on live streams and follow y'all as you post things. So I appreciate it. Till next time, keep spinning that next play.